After years of being a personal trainer and self improvement coach, I've discovered and identified one specific trait that really separates the people who are able to make consistent long term transformations and those who can't. And it's not discipline, it's not motivation, it's not genetics. It's how they're able to bounce back after a bad day. Whether we want to or not, all of us are going to mess up and have bad days no matter what we do. Whether we skip our morning routine, skip the gym, mess up on our diet, scroll, or jerk off when we should be doing something productive, mess up on a commitment that we made to ourselves. It's going to happen eventually at some point along your journey. And one of the most important aspects of you actually getting to that end version of yourself or getting to your goals is your ability to handle those moments when they come in the proper way. The difference between successful and unsuccessful men is not simply avoiding mistakes, but it's how you bounce back from them. People who are going to be successful are able to bounce back to their baseline quickly, and those who are not tend to let these mistakes make them spiral. Have one bad moment in a day lead to the ruining of the rest of the day, lead to the ruining of the rest of the week, month, many months, years, etc. I've seen this happen time and time again. And the reason that this happens is because the guilt of failing on that habit creates an identity collapse. I failed. I'm a failure. I can't do this. I'm not worthy of this. What's the point? A lot of times it makes guys spiral into thinking, oh, well, I already messed up on this, so I might as well keep going. I'm sure you guys have experienced that. If I ever break my SR streak when I don't want to, I'll break my diet, I'll scroll instead of be productive, etc. Momentum works both ways, and downward momentum is just as powerful. The key is to be able to be conscious of your mental state when you're doing this, if you are someone who struggles with this mindset, and be able to stop that downward momentum and get right back on track. Because over the months and years that it takes to have a transformation, these spirals can lead to literal years of progress wasted where you fell off track and then you had to build up the motivation to snap back and grind yourself back onto the proper lifestyle again. I've seen this time and time again with guys who should be at their transformations quicker, but it takes them much, much longer, even if they do eventually get there, because they have 3 good months and 3 bad months. 6 amazing months, then 6 awful months. A good week, a bad week, a good week, a bad week. You don't need perfect weeks every single week. What you need are non-negotiable rebounds when you mess up in a day. So here are some rules I found to be important if you're someone who deals with this type of spiraling mindset. Number 1 is going to be to never miss twice. Missing once is going to happen. Messing up on something is going to happen. Happens to me all the time where I mess up on something on a specific day that I said I was going to do, or a certain habit that I was going to do, etc. For example, even today, I was planning on going to the gym and I ended up not going. I could have been more productive and gotten things done better, so I had the time to go. I definitely did have the time to go, but I didn't. I'm not going to let this sway me off track. Tomorrow, I'm going to move up some things on my schedule. It's supposed to be a rest day, but I'm going to go, all right? It's fine. I'm not going to tell myself I'm a failure, etc., but I'm not going to miss twice. I'm not going to let the negativity of this day carry on to tomorrow. I'm going to wake up the next day, right away, morning routine, like it never happened. Non-negotiable rebounds. You go to bed, no matter what happened that day, you get up pretending like it didn't, pretending like you've been on track, like you've been hitting all your habits and you're going to continue doing so like a machine. Forget about it. It didn't happen. Maybe take some mental notes, jot it down in your mind or on your journal so you can identify the signs that led you to mess up. But in terms of going forward, get it off because that should not affect what you do tomorrow when you wake up. Rule number 2, this is going to be kind of a controversial one, but I say no emotional punishments. I don't think it's really beneficial to be punishing yourself mentally and putting yourself down and saying, well, I did that, so now I have to do this. I messed up on this thing, so now I have to do this to punish myself for messing up. All right, to me, I think it's better just to be a machine. Okay, you made a mistake, boom, right back online. This is the baseline we need to stick to every single day. All right, if we go off, snap back. Just snap back. I don't need to stay here and do other things, change my routine to kind of make up for it. Just snap back to the routine. Okay, this is a long-term thing. Transformations take months and years, not days and weeks. And overall, the most important thing is when we zoom out at those months and years, how much have we been on this line that we have planned? As long as you're on the method, as long as you're on the line that's going to get you to where you want to go, just worry about snapping right back after you're done. Rule number 3 is separate your action from your identity. Yes, I missed the gym today. What am I going to do? Tell myself, oh, I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy of being a coach. I'm not worthy of getting the physique that I want. I'm not worthy of accomplishing my goals and accomplishing this disciplined lifestyle that's going to get me to where I want to be. No. Because when you do that, you start to identify as a person who fails. Guess what? You're going to start failing. You're not going to get up in the morning and do your routine. You're not going to do all the habits that you need to do to become the person who you want to be to get to your goals. So do not identify with the failure, okay? So you break your SR streak. You jerk off. Okay, yes, I gave in. Should I have? No. Could I have stopped it? Yes, maybe these are some of the things I could have done. Doesn't mean I'm a failure. No, I'm a man. I'm single right now. Whatever it may be, I'm getting back on track tomorrow like it didn't even happen. That's the mentality that we need to have. Do not identify with the fail. Identify with snapping back. Identify with the routine, with the inputs. Get back to the inputs after you fail one of them. Rule number 4 is going to be reset the day, not the week or the month. It kind of goes along with number 1, which is don't miss twice. But this one specifically, because I see a lot of guys who have milestones like, okay, well, it's January 1st. I'll get started January 1st. So that's one of them. But a lot of times it's just, okay, I'll get started back on Monday. I'll get started back at the end of this month because I failed this today and the rest of the week and the rest of the month. I'll get started here. No, just reset the next day every time. When you sleep, your brain resets your dopamine, resets your motivation, resets your discipline a little bit. When you wake up the next morning is the best time to get back on your habits and set that track back from over here, back onto the optimal routine that you need. Rule number 5 is expect the slip. Slip-ups are going to happen. They are inevitable. If you identify only with perfection, you are going to be fragile because you're never going to be perfect no matter how hard you try. Yes, you should strive to be as perfect as possible, but don't make perfection your ultimate identity because if that shatters, you have a high chance of spiraling. If you expect a setback, you don't know when it's going to happen. Right? I don't know when I'm going to break my SR streak, but I know that it's going to happen. I'm not going to go on a 5-year streak here, even though if I was fully conscious, I would say, yeah, I want to do a 5-year semen retention streak. All right, I know it's going to fail at some point. My ability to stay consistent on my routine is the resilience that comes from expecting it, then knowing mentally how to get back on track. The men who win long term are not the ones who never fail. They're the ones who get back on track so fast that one failure barely even mattered, barely even made a difference. All right, if you skip the gym one day, if you zoom out on the months and years of transformation, you skip the gym one day, you have one day where you go over your diet goals, where you miss this habit, where you break your SR streak, you miss your meditation, you don't do your PE, whatever it may be. Long term, that's not going to make any difference, guys. Okay? What is going to make a difference is how often, what percentage of the time were you on this narrow path overall. And that one day is just a little tiny blimp. As long as you get back on track, you zoom out, you're not even going to see that day. That day's not even going to be visible on the overall path that you've been on from the beginning to the end of your transformation. If you master one skill, master this. Returning to the path immediately. As long as you have the knowledge of what that path should be, which we've given to you in the 4-hour Evolve Method Masterclass video in the description. As long as you have the knowledge, which now you do, go watch that video. Number 1 skill is going to be the times that you fail in any of the pillars of that method, being able to bounce back like it never happened. If even then you still struggle with this, you guys are going to need to get some kind of accountability, whether it be a coach, whether it be a peer, a friend who's on the journey with you. I have a lot of guys who they don't have a peer that they're on their journey with. So when it comes to working with me, a lot of guys I see struggle with this mindset. On Thursday, they mess up. They have a bad Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then on Monday, we have a call, remotivate, get back on track, like they never left. I always say, as long as you come to the call, you're never going to fail. However, they wasted half the week. So if they had the better mindset and they failed on Thursday, they could bounce back on Friday and had a good rest of the week. But even then, some guys struggle with this more than others. If you are someone who knows that you do and learning this about yourself, acknowledging it, identifying it, and using some of the strategies that I gave you in this video doesn't work, you're going to need to work with someone, whether it be a coach or a peer, like I said. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please let me know any comments. If you agree, if you experience the same thing, if you disagree, no matter what it may be, put it in the comments below. Like the video if you got something out of it. And as always, subscribe for truth. Peace.